Might as well kick it off with the mayoral race because that debate was actually very interesting. Just the personalities that were on stage, really interesting. I thought it was interesting how Curtis Lewa kept saying, this one's the architect and this one's the apprentice. Like Cuomo is the architect of all these terrible policies and Zohran Mamdani wants to continue them all but has no experience to do it. He sounded somewhat reasonable, though didn't want to kick the illegals out of New York, but people were raining hell on him, Sliwa, for that. But it's like, that's what a Republican looks like in New York who could even be considered. You can't sound like Tom Homan and even have any hope. So he did what he needed to do for where he's going in this race. Okay, but the real contest was between Cuomo and Mamdani to see if Cuomo could unseat Mamdani and make some sort of headway to change the dynamics of this race in which he's behind by some 15 points. So that's the question. Did that happen? I'm going to kick it off with some sound. Here is, well, I guess we might as well start with number one since I teased it. Here it is.
You know, it took Andrew Cuomo being beaten by a Muslim candidate in the Democratic primary for him to set foot in a mosque. He had more than 10 years, and he couldn't name a single mosque at the last debate we had that he visited. And what Muslims want in this city is what every community wants and deserves. They want equality, and they want respect. And it took me to get you to even see those Muslims as part of this city. And that, frankly, is something that is shameful and is why so many New Yorkers have lost faith in this politics.
Yeah, except, that is totally false. I worked with the Muslim community for many years.
Name a single mosque you went to when you were the governor. Can you name a single mosque you went to in 10 years?
Before you were ever here.
Before I was here?
Before you were even in state government. I worked with the Muslim community. Yeah. Imams presided over State of the States. We worked in religious working groups, tolerance groups, anti-Semitic groups, etc.
All right.
Victor. What is this? I'm sorry, but what is this? We are not a majority Muslim nation. We're not a majority Muslim city in New York. We're 24 years post getting attacked by radical Muslims. And now somehow you have to swing by a mosque and be able to name it in order to be the New York City mayor?
It's ridiculous, but you're right on your initial comment. He kind of blew it. He could have said, I don't have to have a performance art appearance to tolerate everybody and treat everybody equitably. What I don't do is showboating and virtue signaling. He could have said something like that, but he kind of accepted the charge and then he tried to contextualize it and say, well, I did other things. He should have gone right back and he said, how welcome would you be in a synagogue given what you've said about Jews and what you've said about you're going to arrest Netanyahu, the head of government. He could have said a lot of things, but that's a tragedy of this whole race, that if you look at the people who are running against him and even Eric Adams, you added those three totalities up, they had a greater margin than Mamdani did. But they can't find a viable conservative, not even conservative, centrist candidate without baggage or that has name recognition. I like Silwa like you do, but he's not going to win. And they needed somebody like a Giuliani figure and they couldn't find it. And it's going to be an off-season election. The turnout's going to be low, but for him, he's going to get every metrosexual, yuppie, upscale person who feels that their education or their titles or the letters after their name should warrant a nicer place, a nicer lifestyle, and they can't afford it in New York. So they're really embittered and are angry, and they're left-wing. So he's going to win probably with 10% of the resident population of registered voters.
It's like there are 9%, Muslims are 9% in New York City, 9%, not even double digits. And now this guy wants to make it some sort of a litmus test on whether you can be mayor if you swing by a mosque. This is like, look, I don't think this is going to make the difference in this election because New York is so woke and annoying. But I think to the outside world, this is like shocking. This is the guy who, this video came out during the course of the campaign of him eating rice with his hands. And he tried to lean into this. Here he is in SOT 3. This came out from Uncivilized Media in 2023.
So the third holy grail of taboos in American politics, you have socialism, you have Islam, and then you have Palestine. And you are really going for the trifecta.
Let's go, baby.
Let's go. Tell me, why is Palestine a part of your politics?
When you grow up as someone especially in the third world, you have a very different understanding of the Palestinian struggle.
Oh, Lord. the third world. He comes from a very rich family. What a joke, a cosplayer. Before I give it to you, let me just show you what Charlie Kirk had to say about that video.
And people say, I like Mamdani because he's authentic. But authentic to what? And what is he aiming towards? He's aiming towards a devolution. It's bad either way. By the way, if he eats with his rice with his hands, whether he means it or not, he's either authentically gross or he's being a fake, disgusting person. And in some of the comments of a TikTok video I made, people said, but Charlie, who are you to judge other cultures? No. That's the point. We in Western culture believe that our way of life is the best. We're better than Mohammedanism. We don't do female genital mutilation. Well, I guess the trans people do, but we don't do female genital mutilation. We in the West don't have child marriages. We don't believe in honor killings. We don't believe in polygamy. We believe in American exceptionalism. We believe our culture is better. You see, in the modern world, happiness is the goal, feelings are the guide, judgment is the ultimate sin, and God is the ultimate guess. And let me say that again, judgment is the ultimate sin. You're not allowed to judge others. Guess what? I'm going to judge you if you eat rice with your hands. That's bad. That's wrong. Assimilation is a necessity, not a suggestion.
Can you imagine if anyone on stage had the guts to say something like that, Victor?
Yeah, I think he would actually resonate. But almost everything Mamdani has said in the past, he's lying. That he says, that he said the police were racist. He said he wanted to defund the police. What's very strange, he said, when they asked him about disarming Hamas, he said, I don't have time. I don't get involved in Middle East politics. But then he says he's going to arrest Netanyahu, which is about as involved as you can get. He's a complete phony. He's a spoiled brat. He his father was an apologist for Idi Amin and had connections with that horrific government. And he's, as you say, he's a multimillionaire. And then he is from the wealthiest ethnic group in America. Indian Americans in per capita income have the highest income. And he has the gall to say he's going to go after affluent white neighborhoods. He should say, as a member of the most privileged and wealthiest per capita income group, those of Indian American background, I'm going to target my community first and make them pay their fair share because they're the most affluent. And I come from the most affluent area. He can't even do that. He's a very scary guy because he is charismatic. He reminds me of Obama when Obama first emerged on the scene. Obama was a very radical guy. He was involved with Tony Rezko, Bill Ayers. He had all this baggage. And then he just did just what Mamdani did. He smiled and he said he didn't want to judge people. He went to that early 2004 convention and he wowed everybody saying there's no red state, there's no blue state, we're going to unite people. And everybody thought everybody felt if I can just vote for this guy and unite America, he's a healer, he's half black, he's half white, this is what America needs. And that was all a ruse. And he became the most divisive, racially obsessed president in history. And this guy is he's doing the same thing. He's smiling and acting as if he's ecumenical and he is divisive. It's not going to end well for New York. He's going to do a lot of damage.
Yeah, exactly. And it doesn't seem like it's going to get stopped by anything at this point. No. Here was the most telling moment, and I will give it to Mamdani. It was he easily won this exchange. It was a great line. And he hit Andrew Cuomo exactly where it hurts. And it was completely fair and on point and got to the heart of why so many of us, while we would never vote for Mamdani, cannot picture pulling the lever for Andrew Cuomo either. Just cannot do it. Thank God I moved out of New York because honestly, Victor, I was there for 17 years. I could not vote for Andrew Cuomo. I couldn't do it. But I can't vote for Mamdani. I would vote for Curtis Sliwa. If he drops out, I think I'd not vote. I just can't. Andrew Cuomo's a terrible man. And he did directly, thanks to his policies, lead to the deaths of over 12,000 New Yorkers in nursing homes. He was told, do not send COVID positive patients into nursing homes. That's exactly where the people are dying. And he was warned by the nurses. He overruled them. He never admitted it. Then he downplayed the number of deaths. He lied about it repeatedly. This is not a good person. So this is embodied in the following exchange, top 5.
In other words, what the Assemblyman said is he has no experience. And this is not a job for someone who has no management experience to run 300,000 people, no financial experience to run $115 billion budget. He literally has never had a job On his resume, it says he interned for his mother. This is not a job for a first-timer. Any day, you could have a hurricane, God forbid, a 9/11, a health pandemic. If you don't know what you're doing,
Cuomo.
people could die.
Mr. Mamdani, want to respond?
And if we have a health pandemic, then why would New Yorkers turn back to the governor who sent seniors to their death in nursing homes? That's the kind of experience that's on offer here today. What I don't have in experience, I make up for in integrity. And what you don't have in integrity, you could never make up for in experience.
Yes.
That was amazing. I mean, that was a 10 out of 10.
I don't know. You know, did you think, maybe I'm just alone in that, but when watching Cuomo and comparing him to, say, 15 years ago, I don't know, that horrific thing he did with the rest home deaths and then all of the sexual harassment charge, he looks like a broken person. He doesn't have the same spunk. He's not quick in repartee. And he just put on it was like he delivered on a platter the line about experience. And then he said we could have a health pandemic. And you know that Mamdani was ready for that and memorized that. And he just put his head in the jaws of an alligator and he was chopped off. But he looked so slow and he didn't look like his heart was in it, and he didn't seem Silva did, but he didn't. It was just, I guess what I'm trying to say, he seemed like a broken person. He really did, a broken politician. And he knows he's going to lose. And he knows he's going to lose, and he doesn't know what to do about it. And he's 10 years ago, he would have sliced Mamdani up, 15 years ago, but not now.
Yeah, I was watching him too, Victor, thinking, what happened to him? Like, this isn't, how is this the politician everybody thought ought to be, not everybody, leftists, wanted drafted into the presidential race against Trump? Remember when we were having that discussion? This guy, like, he's a shadow of his former self. He's very skinny. I don't know if he's on Ozempic or what, but he's gotten like physically more frail, and he seems emotionally more frail. I agree with you. He did not seem like the fighter who is Mario Cuomo's son. And that's the only kind of version of him that had a shot in making up a 15-point difference between now and Election Day. It's not going to happen. Buy gold and get free silver. That's right. For every $5,000 purchased from Birch Gold Group this month in advance of Veterans Day, they're going to send you a free patriotic silver round that commemorates the Gadsden and American flags. Look, gold is up over 40% since the beginning of this year, and Birch Gold can help you own it by converting an existing IRA or 401k into a tax-sheltered IRA in physical gold. Plus, they will send you free silver honoring our veterans on qualifying purchases. And if you are current or former military, Birch Gold has a special offer just for you. They are waiving custodial fees for the first year on investments of any amount. With an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau and tens of thousands of happy customers, consider diversifying your savings into gold. Just text MK to the number 989898 for a free info kit and to claim your eligibility for free silver with qualifying purchase before the end of the month. Okay, before the end of the month. Again, text MK to the number 989898. Message and data rates may apply. Thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.